Well, welcome back to the podcast. My name is Siri Alinik, and you're listening to Fallen Hour Radio. You guys, I am very happy to look at our analytics on our podcasting platforms and see that you guys have been heavily engaged and listening to the podcast and keeping up with us and following us on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and tagging along for the ride. And this is something I've been wanting to announce for a while now, and I'll get to that in a second. There's something I want to tell you guys, and I think that you guys will enjoy it, and I think that you guys will be excited about it. But before we get there, me and Marcus actually taken a break from October up until now, and we've been planning our comeback for quite some time now. But we want to come back in a right sense. So we actually have 4 or 5 episodes previously recorded in October, and this was supposed to be our Halloween season, and things kind of fell through. We've had some things happen, and we couldn't really put them out. We were kind of busy at the moment, what with the sickness and things of that nature, a lot of things of that nature. And especially with me being at work, and I run a business. I have a marketing business, and I do TV commercials, and I do business photography and things of that nature. So I've been busy with that as well. But I've caught up on all my work, and Marcus has been ready, and he's ready to go, and we're back to the podcast. And this is going to be something truly exciting. We're continuing season 4, and our hopes are to bring more guest podcasters to come on our show and to interact with us and talk with us on the podcast. Also, we are going back to the old school way of doing podcasts with me and Marcus and researching different topics and talking about that specifically for this reason. Is we have just launched fallenhour.com. That is www.fallenhour.com. And this is going to be a way for you guys to interface with us on the podcast. So if you guys are listening to the podcast and you guys have your own inputs, you guys have your own rebuttals, you have your arguments against what we've said on the podcast, this is something we are open to. This is something we welcome into the podcast, is having an opposing view on what we are investigating that evening on the podcast. And this is kind of how Fallen Hour works, and I'm sure that many of you loyal fans out there know how the podcast works. And to all you new followers, the way we do this podcast is we record a podcast, we research our subject matter for the night, and also we bring in our skepticism, we bring in our beliefs, and we also bring in these other cultures around the world, and we try to argument or oppose those beliefs against these other aspects of culture and different beliefs, and we try to either disprove some of our beliefs or try to validate different beliefs and different viewpoints. And this is something truly engaging and interesting to get into on the podcast. Is we dive into the cultures, and especially we have been becoming well known for giving our thoughts and bringing to the table Native American lore. And this is something that we have been making a field out of, and making our name known in this field of podcasting and the paranormal and things of that nature, is bringing Native American lore. I mean, across the board, you see these movies on TV, and you can't build your house on a Native American burial ground, or elves are bad, or things of that nature. And we bring those to the table of telling you why, and also bringing you true life encounters of Native American storytellers and Native American culture, and bring that into the podcast. And it's become something profound to other podcasters, and interesting to our listeners, and interesting to us as well, because we've heard a lot of these stories growing up, and we put those out in the podcast, and it's become something bigger than we've expected. Now, what I'm about to announce, this is www.fallenhour.com. This is the launch of our website, and this is something I'm excited to announce tonight, is we have launched this website for you guys, and in our hopes to engage with our audience and bring us a little bit closer, to have a conversation with us. We want to engage with our audience and engage with you, the listener. Whether you're listening out there in your car, going to work, coming from work, inside of your art studio, inside of your workplace, whether you're creating art pieces or whatever you may be doing out there and listening to the podcast, whatever you use us for, we are hoping that we have a chance to speak with you. the person and the friend listening to our podcasts and keeping us going. And I am extremely excited that you guys have tagged along and continue to listen to the podcast, even though we've taken this break. And this website is going to be something truly exciting and truly engaging for you, the audience, and you, the listener. And for everyone out there watching us on Facebook and YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts from, is if you go to the contact section of the webpage, you'll be able to send in your questions, send in your arguments against what we've talked about that night, whether that's a point me and Marcus have made, whether that's a point one of our guests have made, and send in your opposing arguments or your comments on that statement, or bring in a new theory that we may not see on the podcast and that we may not have covered on the podcast, because I've been a victim of this as well, is listening back to the podcast, watching our last interviews, and I've learned new things since then. I've grown a little bit, and in this field, and this thinking through things and trying to find new theories and trying to bring validation to those theories and confirm those theories and or beliefs. And then I go back and listen to these other podcasts, and I'm like, man, I've changed my viewpoint on those. And I would actually go back and try to argue that in later podcasts. And this is something I'm giving you guys the opportunity to do, is engage with us on the podcast. Send in your questions, request to be on the show, request to call in. And if you guys are out there and you guys are a podcast yourself, you can request us to be on your podcast, and we will gladly oblige you and be a guest on your podcast and to have a conversation and to talk about various topics and whatnot. And it's going to be really, really fun. And we are actually out there looking for new podcasters to come on our podcast. So if you guys go to www.fallenhour.com, make sure you send us a message, and let's get you on the podcast, and let's get this conversation going. And it's going to be truly exciting. So that being said, make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Fallen Hour. That is at Fallen Hour on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, and engage with us. And now that being said, we're actually rolling out merch also on the website. Is right now, at the time of this recording, we have made available wallpapers that me and Marcus and my wife have designed for Fallen Hour and our followers to help support the podcast. So if you guys are out there and you want to support the podcast in some way, want to get involved with us some way, want to show your support some way, make sure you go to the wallpapers section of our website and download one of the wallpapers and support the podcast. They're $1 each, and it's a really, really low price for the hours we've spent on designing these wallpapers. We're actually going to be putting up original art pieces that I've created, jewelry that my wife's created. We are ordering mugs, we're ordering stickers, we're ordering posters, we're designing all these ourselves, and we'll be soon ordering other merchandise. And if you guys have any ideas of any kind of piece of merchandise you want to see on the website, then make sure you give us an idea. Send us a message on the webpage, send us a message on Facebook, Instagram, wherever you may see us. Give us a message, engage with us. And we are truly excited about this new chapter of Fallen Hour, and we are continuing season 4. And I hope you guys stick along. New episodes coming your way. My name is Cyril Link, and you are listening to Fallen Hour Radio. I hope you guys have a good rest of your night, a good start to your morning, a good rest of your week. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.